Ministry. Welcome to Kingdom Awareness, hosted by my husband, Pastor Bruce Johnson, a Word of God ministry. We are a new ministry in the area, a non-denominational church that focuses on your purpose through kingdom teaching, which we believe will always result in kingdom living. We are in your neighborhood, seeking to serve you. Come as you are. Worship service, Saturday at 12 p.m. Bible study, Thursday at 6 p.m. Care discussion, the last Thursday of the month at 6 p.m. Caring Hands to Hands, our outreach ministry, the last Friday of the month at 1 p.m. Kingdom Awareness, every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Gospel 88.7 FM WEHA. We can be located on Facebook under Word of God Ministry and YouTube under Pastor Bruce B. Johnson. All are welcome. This morning, Pastor Bruce Johnson, along with Pastor Marlene Jackson of Seek Ye First, the Kingdom of God International Ministry, as well as myself, will be discussing the truths of the Kingdom of God, which will give us insight to what Christ actually came to give us, and to attempt to remove the mask that religion has filtrated our minds with. We look forward to meeting again with you every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., and we are anticipating the Spirit of God to give us clear understanding as we begin our discussion.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
We declare Baruch Hashem Ananai. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
Amen.
This is a day that He has made. We rejoice and are glad in it. We want to acknowledge this morning that my wife and I are here by ourselves today. Pastor Marlene was unable to come.
Amen.
But we want to keep her up in prayer just the same.
Amen.
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 That God would bless her, use her tremendously in
Yes.
the proclaiming of this gospel.
Amen.
What we want to discuss today is, again, why God hates idolatry. And I got to go back to a statement. When we put more emphasis on the means than the end, then the means becomes an idol.
Now, let me interject, because people may think idolatry is worshiping statues.
It's not just worshiping
Okay.
statues.
So can you give us a definition?
Well, a basic definition would be anything we put above the works of God
Amen. Amen.
can become an idol to us. It goes way beyond the aspect of a literal statue. Because, like I said, when you put the means above the end, then the means becomes an idol. It's like you have a hose.
Thank you.
You're running water through it, but your concentration is on the hose and you're ignoring the water flowing out of it. Well, it's the same thing with the gospel.
Amen.
We have centered around certain aspects of it, but we ignore the end, which is the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God has to be the center
My God.
of everything we do, everything we say, because
Yes.
that's the way Christ lived. Everything He did, everything He said was predicated upon kingdom principles. Now, when I look at the word principles, for instance, basically a definition of principle would be a fundamental truth upon which other laws are based.
Yes.
Now, you know yourself, principles never change.
No, they don't.
Never change. Same thing holds true with God.
My God.
The aspect of His kingdom and what He taught us about His kingdom. It started in Genesis 1:26, the word dominion. That's what we need to focus on, and that's what we need to pursue God in reclaiming,
My God.
in re-walking in, reliving in the dominion
Yes.
that He started us off in, because that's His objective.
Yes. Yes.
In your salvation, it's not just to proclaim Jesus is Lord.
Yes.
It's to bring people back to their original state
And not only in this world, but in the next as well.
in the life to come.
Because the kingdom, as we discussed earlier this week, the kingdom has been from the beginning and will continue even
Yes.
afterwards.
Amen. Well, we were looking at today and discussing about the two witnesses.
Yes.
how that when you go back and read Revelations 11, at the closing of their ministry,
Yes.
the next statement is, the seventh angel sounds his trumpet, and he proclaims, the kingdoms of this world have become the kingdom of our God,
My God.
and of his Christ.
My God.
See, that's the end.
That's the good news.
Yes. And see, when you look at it, in the end, the literal kingdom of God is going to be on this earth
My God.
during the millennial reign. It's the end. His literal kingdom here is here now.
Yes.
Why here? Because this was your original assignment.
Amen.
God gave you dominion over the earth, over all the works of his hands. God's will never changes for us.
My God.
So, if this was his original
My
assignment
God.
for us,
Yes.
it still remains his assignment for us. The thing is, us as believers, recognizing this thing and start walking towards it. Always remember something. As you study, God will only reveal to you what you're looking for,
Yes.
because it's your will is involved.
Yes.
You got to become open to this thing and seek God. Ask God, is there any truth to this gospel of the kingdom thing?
And you know it has to be, because all throughout scriptures, from the very start, from the very beginning, is speaking about the kingdom. And as we keep saying and constantly saying, Matthew 6:33, he tells you, seek first the kingdom.
Seek first.
He tells you, Luke 16, the law and the prophet wasn't until John. But since that time, the kingdom is preached. If we have an open mind and take our will and go through the scriptures and let our will be God's will, when he changes or closes a book, we need to change.
Amen.
We are the body of Christ. So that means the body has to stay in line with the head.
Exactly.
And who's the head but Christ?
Christ. See, our problem, what I find, we're constantly revisiting where God was.
The brook is dried up, right?
See, when God moves, we got to move with him. It's like the aspect of our holidays. We're stuck on Christmas. We're stuck on these holidays that we grew up with. And I'm not faulting anybody for that. I mean, that's what we learned. I did too.
Yes.
But as I started studying things, I saw where my inner man was becoming more and more open to God.
My God.
And then when God put clarity on it, as I pursued him, I pursued less of what I wanted.
Yeah.
And as a result, God was able to open me up to more things. And that's how all of us have to be.
Now, can you imagine the children coming out of Egypt in the wilderness? Now, you notice how they moved with the cloud? Suppose they didn't move. Would they have made it?
No, not at all.
We have to move.
Not
If
at
you
all.
notice in the natural, at one point, we used to use gallons. Later on, we changed to liter. Now, can you imagine if we stayed where everyone else was?
Yeah.
No, you have to change with the times.
That's why it's called advancements. God is never satisfied with where we are. God is never satisfied with you just being saved. There's more to this than that. Like I said, that was the means to the end.
Yes, yes.
In order for God to get what he wanted to give to you, he had to first deal with our relationship.
Yes, yes, yes.
We were out of sync with
Yes.
God. So he restores our relationship
back.
through the death, burial, and resurrection
Amen.
of Jesus
Yes,
Christ.
yes, yes.
We accept what he did. We believe what he did. God says, I declare you righteous.
Amen.
You're my son again. You're my daughter again. Now,
Walk in it.
pursue me for what I really have for you.
Amen. The door is open, yes.
Seek ye first. It's surmised in this verse. Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you.
Now, I know one day we have to get back on the radio and expound on all, because it's so inclusive. It covers everything. Peace, deliverance, joy, prosperity, all these things. And especially the kingdom.
Well, let's consider it verse by verse. The Bible declares that the Holy Spirit will take what belongs to Christ and reveal it unto you.
Amen.
But here's the question God poses. Are we open to what he's willing to reveal?
My God.
See, like I said, God will only reveal to you what you look for. He can't go beyond our wills.
That's
so
why he says
our will, it's imperative for our will now to become submissive, not to ourselves,
my mind.
to him.
Let this mind be in you.
God, how do you want to move me today?
Yes.
Lord, what kind of revelation do you want to give me today?
Yes.
See, revelation, we've been taught that revelation is over. I beg to differ.
My God.
God is still giving illumination of his word because we don't have it. And apart from his spirit, we won't. God has to give us the understanding. God has to open our minds. But we have to always be in the place where we allow him to. See, it's a co-effort. God has a part. We have a part. Our part is being submissive to the will of God and pursuing it.
You make me think about the body. Christ is the head. Now, naturally, if the body is not functioning as our head tells our body to, we know something's wrong, and we have to get it in check. We just don't allow that body part to function outside of its normal. So therefore, same with the body of Christ. If we're functioning outside of what Christ has for us, we have to get it in check. We have to renew our mind. We have to study to show ourselves approved.
Well, the way I look at that is like this. For the most part, when we've been taught the gospel of Jesus Christ, okay. When we go out, our main objective is saving souls.
Yes.
Did God stop there?
No.
Why do we? See, God wants to take us further and further. Notice, he calls it each new day. Each new day brings new experiences.
Yes.
Like ask yourself the question, why does the scripture read, sing unto the Lord a new song?
Amen.
I mean, that's a bold statement. Is that saying to us that all we do is think of a song and sing it to the Lord? No.
This is a
No.
new song.
When you consider who God is, God is like this. And I said, we're talking about why God hates idolatry. Consider it. You go through a test, and God brings you out victorious. And that's all we see. But what we fail to see is, what did God want from this test? What God does in every trial we go through, he reveals himself to us in a different way. He gives us, like in our lion den experiences, he gives us a lion song.
Amen.
So now we can sing a new song of him being the lion tamer of my life. When we go through our Goliaths, it's not just to conquer the giant. It's so we can know him better. He reveals himself in a new way.
Scripture says it was good that I was afflicted. I learned your statutes.
And that's what God is all about. God is all about not just us being satisfied of knowing that God became a man. God died on the cross for us so we could be restored. There's so much more to this picture.
That's the opening of another door.
Than that. Because each thing God does is an advancement towards the next step.
Yes. We can't box God in. We can't stop him just as a death and burial and resurrection. It has to be more. And we see there's more.
Oh, yes.
But again, I say, you were saying God will only reveal those things that we look for. So if we just limit our mind, that's all we're going to see, what we limited ourselves to be.
Well, see, this is where Hosea 4:6 comes into play. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Now, as we read on in that verse, God says, because you have rejected me, I also will reject you from being my priest. See, you got to look at this. Our ignorance to God is a choice. We become so dogmatic in what we've learned that we think there's nothing else. And God is like, no, be open to me, trust me. Seek me. It's not like you're putting yourself in the position to trust a man.
God forbid.
You're trusting the one who made you,
He knows
the
all
one
about
who
you.
ordained you, the one who gave you purpose, the one who gave you life. He's not a man that he should lie,
Not at all.
nor the son of man that he should repent. But notice, that which he hath said, he's able also to bring to pass. So when God says what he said he's able also to bring to pass, he's talking everything he says in his word,
Amen.
including the gospel of
Amen.
the kingdom of
Amen.
God.
Amen. Now, to get back to the source of idolatry, you mentioned that because of what?
Because we're in a lock for the most part. I believe like this: if God is never satisfied with just our salvation, why are we?
Okay.
God, I mean, there are more areas of this life that God wants to use us in, other than feeding the homeless, other than praying for the sick. God wants a manifestation of his kingdom on this earth.
Now, you said something about focusing on the means and not,
Giving more importance to the means than you do the end.
right? So you're saying the means at this point would be feeding the homeless and all those
That's
items?
that's
Okay.
what we and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
That's part of this picture.
Right.
But when are we going to realize
It's more.
there's more?
Yes, yes.
What else can I be doing? Ask yourself this question: what else can I be doing to bring the kingdom to the earth? Because that was your original assignment,
Yes.
to be in dominion on the earth.
Yes.
So how is that applicable today? You, as a believer in Jesus Christ, you have accepted his death, burial, and resurrection. Now your pursuit should be the kingdom.
Yes, yes.
Once you learn the kingdom and you learn how this thing is to govern your life and how you're to walk in it, you're seeking God now for his purpose for your life. See? And this is where the avenues take different routes.
Now, this making me think, during service, you'll have praise and worship, and you'll have the worship person lead singing. And the people may focus on that person singing, how great their voice is. And they may be looking at that means, but we're looking at the end, getting his presence. It's not about the singing. It's not
Exactly.
about how well that person performed, because it's not about that. It's about worshiping and praising our God. So I can see how you can start looking at the means and
Yes,
not.
absolutely. See, but we miss a lot of times the only one that is qualified to be worshiped is God. So imagine this, just with the scenario you just gave. We're in a worship service.
Yes.
A choir, a person is singing, and we praise that person.
Yes.
All right? That person, a lot of times, is praising their ability to sing. But see what you're doing? The congregation is making the person an idol. The person is making their ability an idol. And as a result, you never see
And the
and experience
The whole purpose
the
is in
Holy
his
Spirit
presence.
moving to. I mean, you have got to wonder. I do all the time. You've got to wonder, why does God move in foreign countries and not move in America?
Their desire.
I mean, you got to look at that. There's a reason.
Yes. Yes.
There's a reason. And I personally believe it's because we are not giving the gospel of the kingdom. We're not being taught how this kingdom runs. What's the laws that apply to this kingdom? How am I supposed to live within these laws? We're not being taught none of that. And it is only God, in his mercy,
Thank you, Lord.
that has allowed other people to be open to this thing
Yes. Yes.
and show us this is where I want you.
And you make me think now about the scriptures when it speaks about the testator. And Jesus, it brought it out in Hebrews.
Hebrews 9, yes.
He had to die first in order for us to get something.
Well, he had to die first in order for his will
Thank you.
to be enforced.
Yes.
Now, here's the question. What was his will?
Was it just for him to die?
Was it just for you to accept what he did for you and become saved?
Good
I mean,
point.
see, the means and the end.
Yes.
See, again, I always say, I no longer believe death, burial, and resurrection is the gospel of Jesus Christ. I don't believe that anymore because God has shown me it's a means to an end.
And the scripture says God is a God of the living.
But see, our emphasis should not be on the means. Our emphasis should be on the end.
Yes, yes.
The end of his purpose, the
Yes.
end of his objective for doing what he did.
Yes. And I want to just say to the people that are listening, the main focus of Word of God ministry is to let the people know what God is saying in his scriptures about the kingdom. It is very important. There's a scripture that says that this world will not end. I can't remember the exact.
This gospel of the kingdom will be preached to all nations, and then shall the end come.
And we want to be a part of what God is doing. And so we have to get on board and look at the closing, like Luke 16:16 says, how the doors closed then and how now God is opening it in regards to the kingdom. We have to get on the same page as the head, which is Christ. We are the body of Christ, but members in particular. And as members in particular, we have different people in one particular facet of how their beliefs are. We have to all come together. The scripture says jointly compact, fitted together. We have to come together as a body. We have to stop being separate and be one. For God said he's holy, and holy means one. We as a body has to be one.
I wonder how God sees our separateness. Is it possible that we're stuck on ourselves? We're worshiping ourselves, our accomplishments, instead of the source of all of your accomplishments.
The means and not the end.
See, when you recognize true worship is ascribing to God that everything belongs to you, including me.
Yes.
This is where we come into true worship. I mean, to where the presence of God is moving tremendously, healing, deliverance in a service. I mean, on a consistent.
Yes.
This is supposed to be our norm.
Yes.
This isn't supposed to be something we experience every once in a while.
Miracle.
When we live in the kingdom, we're supposed to experience the kingdom on a daily basis.
Yes. Yes.
And it stands to reason, y'all.
Turn the page.
Why aren't we? Why aren't we?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's because we've been ignorant. And I don't say that in a bad fashion. I don't want to sound like I'm condemning anybody, because that is not my objective.
Just turn the page.
Our objective is for truth to be established in the hearts of man.
Now I'm thinking about the scripture when it says repent. God knew where we were. He's not condemning us. He's just telling us to change our mind, change our focus, change our direction.
And he told us that from the very outset of his ministry.
And even with the two witnesses in the end, he's speaking about the kingdom.
Always. Because kingdom is what's important to God.
Yes. Yes.
See, where religion has taken us, it's given us an element of our own importance. As a result of that, we have lost the focus of the source.
My God.
What does he want?
Yes.
What is God trying to do in saving people? He's trying to bring his kingdom to this earth.
Yes.
He's trying to bring the rule and reign, the sovereign government of his kingdom on this earth.
And he even showed us when he spoke about the Pharisees and Sadducees in that time, knowing that they were the religious leaders. He was showing them that their minds were not renewed to what he's trying to present about repenting.
Absolutely.
And so we, now, today, we have to repent. We have to turn the page. We have to come out and be separate and do what Christ is calling us to do.
And that's a good thing, because even Christ said, unless your righteousness exceeds the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you won't enter in either.
My mind.
Come on, there's more to this.
Yes.
It's us realizing it, and once we realize, pursuing him to find out what the rest is.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
Yes. And here's the time, gone again.
Always.
Whenever you're talking about the goodness of the Lord, amen, time just tends to go. But before we get off the air, we just want to invite everyone to come out to the Word of God Ministry. We're a new ministry in the area, a non-denominational ministry that focuses on your purpose through kingdom teaching, which we believe will always result in kingdom living. Come out to see what we're about. We have Saturday worship services at 12 p.m., Bible study on Thursdays at 6 p.m. We have Kingdom Awareness Roundtable Empowerment discussions on the last Thursday of every month. We also have our Kingdom Outreach Ministry, Hands to Hands, where the last Friday of the month at 1 o'clock we go out to minister to the people. And of course here at Gospel 88.7 WEHA, we're here every Sunday at 10 o'clock. So we invite you to come out and listen and find out what God is doing. We have to get back to our spiritual roots. Forget the natural. The spiritual is more important than the natural. It is the spirit that made the natural.
Amen.
So we invite you to come out.
Shalom, everyone.
Happy
Be
holidays
blessed.
to everyone.